my powerful people, and welcome back to my channel, Purple RX. For those new to this, I'm Renata, your friendly and resourceful PharmD, here to help you navigate this whole health and wellness world with all this vast information to figure out what's right for you. Because everything is not for you, and you aren't for everything. Okay, I haven't even thought about today's title, but I've thought about just what I need to talk about today. And you know, today is Freestyle Fridays, where I just get up here and freely talk. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it may not, but hopefully I think it makes sense. I just may go around in circles at times. So today I really wanted to put out, because this is just an unprecedented time in our society, in America, in this world, and wherever you are, it is unprecedented. Having this pandemic is unprecedented. The situation we're in, how our money looks, how things have changed for so many people. This is just a time nobody could have ever expected, predicted, or said that this is exactly going to happen and this is how it's going to happen. I mean, maybe tarot or some cards or something would have told you, but for all the things that have gone on, you would have never thought this was going to happen right now. And I just want to remind people to, in this time, have kindness. In this time, have compassion, consideration, have patience, and learn to love unconditionally. And loving unconditionally does not mean you have to accept any and everything. Sometimes loving unconditionally means you may have to step away from that. Sometimes loving unconditionally means that that person is just gonna be that way, or this situation is just gonna be that way. So let me go over here and take care of me in this situation. Or I can't convince this person to do this, or I can't convince this person that this way is the right way and their way is wrong. So maybe I just need to go over here and focus on me. That's what unconditional love looks like. And we need to have more compassion and understanding and consideration in this time, because as you can see, there's no exact right way to do this. And there's no exact wrong way. And people are saying my way is right. No, my way is right. No, my way is right. And that's causing more and more chaos in this time of change. Things are supposed to change in this time. This is happening partly because people are supposed to become sensitive to things. God makes you sensitive to things so that we can change those things, so we can recognize those things affect us. Those things bother us, and those things need to no longer bother us. So either we need to stand up and talk about it, or stand up for it, and stand up for what's right, or what we feel is right and understanding in the society that we're in, or say no to it, or not deal with it anymore in some way or another. And we need to start in this time, whether we agree or not, whether we're not feeling that person or not, learn to love, learn to be understanding, but also knowing that being understanding and loving does not mean you have to be up in their face still, does not mean just because you don't agree on the same thing does not mean you don't have to have respect for one another. And you don't have to sit here and beat up and brutalize somebody or beat somebody down because they don't agree with you, they don't like you, they don't see your point. That's not what this is about. Putting your point out should be important, and you should speak and have your voice, but your voice should not trump somebody else's voice, or your voice should not be able to shut somebody else down. And I'm not even gonna lie, I've had experiences where I've done that, maybe because I know I can be overbearing in the way I talk, and that is something I've had to learn. And it is so everybody should get a chance to speak of what is important to them and how they feel. Because when we diminish other people's voices, it could turn right back around on us, and our voice gets diminished when we need it heard. So we need to be considerate and loving and patient in this time, because this is not an easy time for anybody. It's not if everybody just makes the same choice, it's gonna go exactly how we need it to go. It's probably not gonna end up that way. There are some things in this society that need to change. How we treat other people, how we treat other races, how maybe because we have a little power or a little more understanding, we discount those people that don't have all that power in this or haven't studied that, like in the medical industry. There's a lot of things that need to change in our industry. When we sit here as healthcare professionals demonizing another round of healthcare profession like alternative medicine or anything else, why are we doing that? That's wrong of us. Because just because we see it one way does not mean their way of seeing it is wrong. Now, how we present our message can be wrong, and we can talk about that. Maybe saying one is better than the other, that is a wrong message to present, because everybody needs something different. And everybody's thing is something that you do is not going to work for for everybody. That's why so many people are being vocal right now in this vaccine situation. To be like, for us to lay down and just get a vaccine, or lay down and get something that maybe we don't believe in, or maybe we don't agree with that part, or maybe we don't agree with the process of it, or how you're trying to make us do it, or pressuring somebody. Because when you pressure somebody, it's almost like you take away their own decision and they push themselves aside and what they need and their needs in order to make somebody else happy. And that is not cool. That's not fair. That doesn't allow people to find out what's best for them. And if what's best for them leads to something detrimental, then that is what a person may have to live with or understand or get. And the thing is, there's been that same thing on both sides. People who haven't gotten the vaccine have lost loved ones and have felt that they shouldn't have made that decision. And people who haven't lost loved ones, and people who have had the jab, have basically lost loved ones from that. And then they regret that choice. You should not feel pressured, pushed, prodded, or felt like you've had to make a choice because of someone else. And when I say that, I mean vaccines are not to protect everybody else around you. It is to protect yourself. So whether that's husband and wife, whether the husband doesn't want to get it and the wife does, we are going through such a time of change and such a time, and allowing somebody to be who they are does not mean your marriage will dissolve or end. Allowing somebody to make a choice for themselves that makes them feel safe does not mean a relationship will dissolve or end. It'll just actually expand the dynamics if you allow that to happen. It'll actually allow you to see more of who that person is, because a lot of times in relationships and situations, a lot of people have been hiding themselves or going along to get along. I know a lot of people in Black society have let's just go along with this to get along, because then it'll be over easier. And it's not always like that. And that's not always going to actually solve the problem and get us what we need. And we really, really need to think about that. And we really, really need to understand that people don't see things the way we do, and that's okay. It is okay if somebody doesn't see this whole situation the way you see it. And it is okay if maybe somebody's fear shows up very different from what your fear does. Maybe you're rational in your fear, or you know how to make a good choice for yourself. And maybe sometimes some people don't know how to do that. So they're irrational, they act out, they hurt other people, and their fear takes over. Everybody doesn't have control of their emotions in that way. And some people are learning through this precedented time. And we have to learn to respect those people, no matter what the relationship is, because God is not asking us to sit here and tell us that we need to push and pressure and make sure somebody does something that he wants them to. That's not what God is asking us to do. God always gives us a choice. And what does he tell us? He doesn't give us a spirit of fear or of worry or distress. He gives us the spirit of power, of love, of peace, and of joy. That is what he's giving us. So before you make a decision, make sure you have peace in that and understanding, and you have the power in that decision. And however it comes out is however that it's supposed to be. Because at the end of the day, we are all going to leave out here the same way. We don't all get to choose exactly when we leave out here. Sometimes we do in the things that we do. But we're all going to leave out here the same way, and you never know what's going to happen, whether you take it or you don't take it. Because like I said, there's some people that are taking it and something happens, and there's some people that don't take it, something happens. And yes, we can look at numbers, but some of those numbers are distorted by what are we looking at? Like when you say vaccinated to unvaccinated, are you including those people that have maybe even had the disease already? Or are you including those people that maybe are stuck at home or doing this? Or when you look at people who have actually had the virus or had this, are we seeing a whole number of everybody that's actually had the virus? Because there's a lot of people that get it, that may be asymptomatic, and those symptoms aren't showing up. So what do they need to go get a test for? Or there's a lot of people that have had a cold or something small, and they felt like, I don't know if this is corona or not. I don't need to go get a test. I can handle this on my own. And they've handled it on their own. So, and then they don't go get tested. So it means they don't get put down. There is so much more to this that everybody needs to see. And this is a time of change. And your best bet is to focus on what you need. Pushing people to do what you think is best is not what's best all the time. Because we're, again, taking away somebody's option to choose. God gives us choice. God gives us choice. So why aren't you giving other people a choice? Why aren't you allowing other people to make the choice and decision on their own? Maybe they will if you give them all the right information. And that's another thing. In our society, and even in healthcare, giving half information or saying this is good for you is very limiting, and it's very hurtful to our own patients. And in a lot of ways, what's displaying right now is what our system has done. Our system has showed us that we know what's best. We don't need to hear from you. So you just need to do what we're telling you to do. And that ain't the way it needs to be. That's not the way it needs to be. Because some things, and a lot of times people and doctors and healthcare professionals have discounted other people. So many things that women have gone through, so many things that other people have gone through, they're discounting those, or they're acting like you're just tripping. That's not happening to you. That's not due to this. That's not due to that. Or they're ignoring, they're gaslighting people. And that is happening a lot more in our industry than we think it is. They're telling people, oh, this is wrong with you. That's not wrong with you because I'm the doctor and I know. It's okay. We make mistakes too. We don't know everything. God is bigger than us. And everything we should have learned doesn't present the same in healthcare industry. Everything is not going to look the same. And every situation is not going to be, I can predict this and I know what's going to happen. It's okay in our industry to say, I don't know. And I think that's what some people are having a problem with right now. In our industry, they're not saying, I don't know. They're saying, we don't need masks, right? You don't need masks. But really, in truth, we need masks. We just don't need you to take away from our supply of masks. And that's what they had to tell us and show us how to make masks. But they said we don't need masks. And then later down the line, they wanted to show. That's not fair to people. How do you build trust in that? How do you expect people to listen to you or say that they have my best interest at heart if you're not really telling the truth? That's a hard position to play, and those are the positions that they are playing in this society right now. And for people to ask for better and want better, there is nothing wrong with that. There is a lot of changes that need to happen. And the thing about it is, the Black community has felt that way for so long because we've been neglected or we haven't been heard. And a lot of times that's what's going on right now. You don't need to be heard. You just need to do what we're telling you to do because we know it's best. And that's backfiring. It is backfiring in their face, not because so many people are wanting to make their choice, but even those looking in other countries where they have making the choice to follow what the government or somebody else says, and they've seen that this ain't working exactly because sometimes when you get in power, people want to start playing God like they know how to control stuff. And it's not for us to control. Sometimes it's for us to sit back and patiently walk through this. That's why some people are like, just go ahead and do it. Some people are going along to getting along because, again, they think that that's going to make this circumstance and this situation better. And no matter if we go along to get along, this virus was going to show its ass and say, no, that's not how this is going to go. If you talk about we are a country of freedom or a world where people are supposed to feel, because how is somebody, if God doesn't want to control our choice, why are we letting other people who don't know us like God knows us to make the choices for us? How is that right? How is that okay with us? And then the language that is going out there, like, if we take this vaccine, everything will be over. Who are you to determine that? This is something viral. This is something you have no control over. And you're here to tell somebody that this vaccine is going to stop everything, even though you did not say it, even though it did not show it was going to stop everything. And then you change it to, oh, it's just going to decrease hospitalizations. And then we're saying that's going around. And that is the problem where people have, instead of saying, we don't know, we're doing our best to figure out what's going on. And we're trying to see where we can get things at. But some people right now, or a lot of people, are in their ego and in their feelings and thinking they know what's best. And at this point, nobody knows what's best. Nobody knows how this is going to do. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And especially people are upset because why is it just a vaccine being pushed when there is shown that the comorbidities are making hospitalizations and the deaths worse? Why aren't healthy choices being pushed? Why isn't it a commercial to eat fresh produce and eat fresh food? Why isn't that being pushed? So that's got people in an uproar, and people for other reasons, like having a hard time believing that they know what's best, other people know what's best for them, and they're now choosing right now to speak at what's best for themselves. And this, we're not going to get out of this by just going along to getting along. We're going to get out of this by respecting one another and loving one another and being considerate of one another. Not ignoring people and how they feel. Not ignoring true situations that are going on. We have ignored so many things for so long. We've ignored people and their needs because we think we know what's better for somebody else. But who are we, again, to determine? Only God knows what's best for that person. And that person needs to get with God, get with whoever, spirit, however you call it, and get with them to figure out what is best for you. And I'm not saying us as healthcare professionals need to say nothing. No, we just need to know what's best and what's been shown best, and work in conjunction with those people to see, hey, if this is not working for you, what else will work for you? What other avenue can we go? Is alternative medicine going to work for you? Okay, let me get in conjunction with that doctor. Let me get in what's called with that doctor. A lot of people feel restricted in the healthcare industry, and a lot of our people feel overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, and not seen. And their idea is not good enough, and this, that, and this, and people not hearing even those professionals that are in it. There's a lot of professionals that have claimed over years, and there's a lot of professionals that have left that practice and tried to build their own practice because they didn't agree with how things were rolling in the environment they were in. So there are a lot of changes that need to happen in our society, and change is not beautiful. Change is rough. Change can be chaotic because a lot of times we're fighting against the change. And sometimes there needs to be a fight against the change. In order for us to have a better society, a more understanding society, we need to start listening to every side and understanding every side, and then just working on what is best for ourselves and understanding what is necessary in the country, not pushing one direction because that works for us or because our fear is in the way. We need to start being loving and considerate and passionate. And again, when I say loving, that does not mean accepting how somebody should treat you, accepting any way that they treat you, or accepting anything that somebody puts out towards you, against you, whatever. Loving them can sometimes mean going to the side and loving yourself and making sure you're good and taking care of what you need for yourself. Making sure that you get the things that you need for your emotional well-being in order to understand. Stepping away, considering your own feelings. And if somebody doesn't want to consider that, it's loving to walk away. And it's okay to, because maybe that isn't the best situation for us. So be patient in this time, be loving, be considerate, and try and be understanding. And understanding does not mean you have to agree with whatever that person is saying, but understanding is seeing deeper than what they're saying and see, okay, maybe that person has some fear. That person has some worry. There's something that's gone on with that person that I haven't been able to see, and maybe it's come out in anger, hurt, pain. And they're just projecting their anger onto society, and being open to say, hey, you need to check yourself. You need to figure out who you need to talk to, because this is just anger that you're projecting on me. Because there is a lot going on, and it's scary to a lot of people. Change is a scary ass thing to a lot of people because they don't know what's going to happen outside of the change. They don't know where to go after that, because when you're going through change, it's so like a dark tunnel and chaos. You don't know what's coming at you, and you're trying to dodge whatever or deal with whatever, or you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. It is one of the biggest unknowns. But on the other end of change is one of the greatest eye-openings and awakenings for yourself in order to do what you need to do and grow and take care of you and be the person that you need to be. That's if you've done the work. If you've ignored it, ran away from it, acted like it didn't exist, avoided it, and still never did the work, you're going to be in the same place. I'm just going to be real with you. You're going to be in the same place. But this takes work, and that work is on you. And stop focusing on what everybody else needs to do. Step away from the TV. Step into you. Step into what God has for you. Step into where you need to be, whether it's meditation, taking a walk, spending time with your family. I know it's been a long time and you're tired of it. Find another routine. Find another way. But don't avoid this change that's going on. And don't avoid the change that's going on inside of you. Look at it. Feel those feelings. Feelings of loss, pain, hurt, whatever's going on. Because a lot of people have felt loss in different ways at this time. Whether it's from this pandemic or whether it's from other things. Loss from other family members just suddenly. Loss from business, jobs, whatever. Loss from feeling like you haven't done things right in life. But within this, we all need to have a compassion and understanding. And not brutally beat each other up because you're not agreeing with me, or doesn't look like you're going down the right path. Who are you to decide, and who are you to know? You don't know where God's taking that person. And maybe that person needs to go through a little desert or something and figure some things out for themselves, and it's not for you to tell them. Again, this is rough for not just you, but for those around you. So have some empathy. compassion, consideration. Have some patience for people. Even those people you're in relationships with, have patience for people. And patience does not mean you have to take whatever they're giving. Patience can sometimes mean it may not work itself out as quickly as you think it will. And you may have to feel those feelings of hurt and pain for a little bit, but do it. It will be the best decision you've ever made. And it'll be the best decision. And you will feel good about yourself once you've done those things and understood what you need and understood how to give and understood that this is a time of change. And this is a time that a lot of us have never, ever seen before. And we don't know, some people don't know how to act. On a regular daily basis, some people don't know how to act. So in this, some people really don't know how to act. And those are things you need to consider. Again, I am not telling you just to take whatever, but I am telling you those are things to consider when you see what is going on out here in this world. And I don't know better than you, and you don't know better than me. I can't speak and say, this person is the worst person, or this person needs to go away because they've done some horrible thing. Or I've heard people say, well, that's what he gets for speaking against the jab. You're putting yourself in a little hot pocket there, because how are you to speak on somebody and speak on, you don't know what his circumstance. He could have had high blood pressure. He could have had something else going on that maybe accounted to that, whether he had it or not. And nobody deserves to die in a certain way, do this, do that. We shouldn't wish any of that on anybody, not even on our worst enemy. Whatever happens is what is supposed to happen. And that's out of your control, my control, our control. And we just have to go with the flow right now. The only thing that we can change and work on is us. And that is where you need to focus. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you want, where you want to be, what you deserve, what life needs to look like for you here on out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this time. It was a quick little message. Hopefully it was thought-provoking, and hopefully it allowed you to see things in a different light and see yourself in a different light and remember what's important in this time of change. And it's going to get crazy out here. It's going to get crazier. People are going to get more, some people may get more hateful. Some people may get more violent. Stay safe. Keep yourself safe. Mask up. Wash your hands. Eat right. Take care of your body. Feed it what it needs, not just what it wants, but feed it what it needs. Catch up on herbs, but use them safely. Make sure you're talking to somebody. Use them safely. I will be here to guide you through them. I'm about to start that process very soon. But be safe in this and take care of your body. If we're obese, overweight, focus on your body, not to lose the weight to look a certain way, but to be able to be healthy, to have a stronger immune system. If you have high blood pressure, yeah, you may be taking a pill that's controlling it, but you also need to know how to control it, and you have to focus and be able to be disciplined and figure out what is the diet for me and what is my relationship with food. Figure out what your relationship with food is and what your relationship is with diet and change that. This is a time to change that. During this time of change, it is time for you to change that. It's time for you to change those things in yourself. So focus on the things that you need to change within yourself and put down that work. It's going to be hard. You're going to have ups and downs, but you can do it and you can handle this. So I thank you guys again for watching this message. I love you guys. Stay safe again. Stay masked up. Take care of yourself and what you eat and what you do and how you talk to yourself and how you talk to others. Be kind, be gentle, be considerate, and be compassionate. Thank you guys. Love you. Have a good day. And have a good Friday.